Welcome. Thank you for joining us today for our virtual student panel. My name is Michelle Peterson, and I am the Enrollment Operations Manager for the Undergraduate College at National Louis University. So thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we are hosting a virtual student panel for all of you guys. And so joining me today are some of my wonderful student ambassadors, and I'm going to allow them an opportunity to introduce themselves to you, and then you'll also have an opportunity to hear from them about their experiences at National Louis, what it's like to be a college student, and they'll be answering some other really fun questions for you as well. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and kick things off to Priscilla.
Hi everyone, my name is Priscilla. I am now an NLU alumni. My major at National Louis was criminal justice, and fun fact about me, I am actually the first senior class to graduate from National Louis University Wheeling.
Hey everyone, my name is Miana. I am also an NLU alumni, and my major was Human Services Psychology. And a fun fact about myself is I love sharks.
Hi guys, my name is Ruth. My major is psychology. I'm minoring in criminal justice, and I graduated from International Online High School, which is a homeschooling program.
Hello everyone, my name is Eric. I'm currently a senior at National Louis University on the Chicago campus. I'm studying psychology, but I am minoring in computer science.
Hello everybody, my name is Jocelyn. I'm a sophomore and my major is elementary education. And a fun fact about me, I'm a first generation.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for introducing yourselves. I'm really excited to start asking you some questions so that our viewers can learn a little bit more about NLU and your personal experiences. I know this year has been very different compared to what we've been used to in the past, in that we are all remote right now. And so Ruth and Miana, I'd love to check in with you. Just talk to us a little bit about how you're doing with being remote. And have you picked up any hobbies or skills while we've been remote?
So I've been doing well. Thank you so much for asking. A skill I feel I've really picked up is time management. I've never really had a time management plan, so to speak. And I've been dealing with going to work currently, and I feel like with school coming out very soon, I think it's really important to have a time management plan. I recently got a dog with my boyfriend, so that's the only real thing that's kind of been new to my life that I've been incorporating in and trying to make the best of it.
Awesome. I'm doing well, Michelle. Thank you for asking. I've actually transitioned from Chicago to Dallas, Texas, and I love it here. I'm currently apartment hunting, so my mom and my grandma and I are in a steps and calorie challenge, so that has been keeping me pretty busy. It's so nice to see that no matter the distance, I still feel just a part of everything at home. And outside of that, I've just been taking time to really write in my journal about every day. With everything that's going on in the world, it's really important to take some time for yourself and just breathe. So I hope you guys are all staying healthy and safe out there.
Thank you, ladies. Yeah, self-care, especially right now, is very important. So it sounds like getting a dog and just doing some journaling are both excellent ways to show some self-care. So I'm glad to hear that you both are doing well. Eric, my next question is for you. Can you talk to us about what classes are like for you at National Louis now that we're remote? Have there been any challenges that you faced? And then what are some wins or some advantages of being remote right now?
Very good question. I will say right off the bat, I am able to get more sleep since classes are remote now. I remember I had 2 weeks more class and COVID-19 was starting to become a pandemic. Our school looked over our safety and sent everyone an email and pretty much just let us know that classes will be remote until further notice. So that was very nice that they were looking out for us. I woke up at my usual time around 6 in the morning, and then I realized I don't have to go to campus. I can just, wake up, take a quick shower, and be on my setup. But pretty much, it felt the same as a normal class schedule. The only thing that felt off was the environment, of course. Usually, we're in a classroom. There weren't any difficulties until my next quarter started, where I noticed some challenges. I will admit I had moments where I had turned off my camera and listened to music while a professor was teaching. I'm sure we've all had procrastinated at some point, which was one of my biggest challenges yet. However, with the amazing and encouraging professors I had, it still made our classes engaging. There were even students who spoke more than in the classroom since they were more comfortable at home. It wasn't unorthodox at first, having to see everyone through a screen for 10 weeks, but it's something that we can handle. NLU will always be there to support us and make us feel as if nothing has changed.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I can imagine trying to take classes remote has its challenges, but I'm glad to hear that you've had support to help encourage and push you through to be successful. So that's great. Ruth, this question is for you. Can you talk to us about what motivates you to earn your degree? You know, what's your hustle? What's the point of even going to college?
Thank you for giving me this question. It means a lot. For me, my dad was my biggest motivator. He was my biggest hustle. My dad suffered from dementia, and it was really, really rough to deal with. And I think seeing that was also a big inspiration to me, because it really caused me to want to delve into other people's mindsets as to the reason why they thought the way they thought, or what caused them to do the things that they do. And going to college to learn psychology was a big motivator towards that, because I get to help people with the knowledge that I've gained from it, and hopefully it benefits people and it helps them to become healthier within their own mindsets. And it's really beneficial to me because I love helping people. I love seeing where they're trying to go with their lives, what they're trying to do. I'm all about that. I'm all about helping people with that, and it means so much to me. And I physically in the future want to take that and hopefully go into nursing, go into schools with it, taking criminal justice as a minor to hopefully add some type of justice towards it. Really means a lot to me, and NLU has been a very beneficial step towards that.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing, Ruth. That's amazing. Eric and Miana, this next one is for you. Can you both talk to us about your journey to National Louis University? You know, think back to when you were in high school and you were trying to make a college decision. You know, what made you choose National Louis?
Good question, Michelle. My mother was the first person to graduate in my family, so I always wanted to follow in her footsteps. My first college choice was actually SIU Carbondale, which is about 5 or 6 hours from Chicago. So since I grew up there, it felt like home, and that's where I wanted to go. But although I knew the people, it didn't really feel like the best fit for me. And since my mother has worked in higher ed for over a decade, she really inspired me to look at National Louis. And going to take a tour of the school, I absolutely fell in love with the location and the campus. And when I decided to go to school, it was already August. So I was a little nervous because the start date was already, coming up soon, but Michelle made me feel so welcome. And I knew after orientation that this was my dream college. And it was affordable, close to home, and the people were so friendly. And now being a 2020 NLU graduate, I really couldn't imagine finishing my studies elsewhere.
That's awesome to hear. For me, my family has always pushed me to continue with my education, even though this was all new to them, since I also am a first-generation student. They were very proud for how far I've accomplished. The only colleges I had in mind were UIC, DePaul, Columbia College, mainly because I used to focus on video editing and photography a little bit. However, there was a faculty member from Gear Up, and they told me about National Louis University and how her daughter went and graduated in psychology. So I think what got me hooked was that she mentioned that if I received the full FAFSA amount, I could go to NLU for free since their tuition matches the full FAFSA amount, and who doesn't love free? But a couple of weeks later, I got an early award letter from NLU, and my first year was completely covered. I had to pay nothing at all, which was very nice. And then I attended to one of their open houses with my aunt, and for some reason, I liked the environment of the school. I previously visited Illinois State University, Roosevelt University, Robert Morris, Northeastern, but they didn't feel like NLU. It felt cozy, comfortable, and it was like right in the middle of downtown. So now I had an excuse for my family for me to get out more.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Thank you both so much for sharing. That's great to hear. My next question is for Priscilla and Jocelyn. So can you ladies talk to us about what classes are like? And specifically, is your homework load different in college than it used to be in high school?
That is a great question. So classes to me were actually very comforting because they were a small class. I personally like the small classes due to being able to just build that connection with professors and being able to just reach out to them frequently for help. I feel like in high school that was not the case. So it's a little different in college, and I genuinely like that. The homework load was definitely completely different, as in high school it wasn't as hands-on as it was in college. So NLU definitely had more hands-on homework. It was a lot more detailed, which I genuinely like the fact that it was a lot more detailed and hands-on. So just because of that, I was happy because I looked to doing all that and whatnot. You know, it was manageable and it's doable, and I genuinely like it. So
Thank you, Priscilla. So I just finished up my freshman year of college, and looking at it, my class sizes were pretty small. And that's very important to me because I was able to interact one-on-one with my professors, and I was comfortably able to ask questions or ask for help if I needed it. We typically only go to school 2 times a week, and this makes our classes a bit longer. They are 3 hours long, so it typically starts off with like review of last class or like homework, then the new lesson, then group work. And even though it does sound like a lot, from my experiences, the classes are so interactive, as Priscilla mentioned, and like they go by so quickly. And they even sometimes give you a chance to do homework in between those times. What I realized is that homework is more manageable in college than it was in high school. With the schedule that NLU has given me, I realize I am able to work and go to school and also do homework. This has made it so much easier for me, and I like it more than when I was in high school. And I also feel like I'm better prepared in my classes.
Awesome. Thank you both for sharing. Miana and Jocelyn, I'll shoot this next question over to you. So a huge question we get all the time is, what is student life like at NLU? So can you talk to us a little about any clubs or organizations or student activities that you're involved in?
For sure. So student life is really diverse at NLU. You're bound to find friends that fit your personality and interests. Actually, my friend Asia started a girl empowerment group called Royalties that allowed us to really, build a friendship throughout our time at NLU. And still to this day, I talk to the girls, so that's really nice that we all, kept the friendship going. But aside from making your own club, they have countless amount of activities for students to participate in throughout the week at NLU. When we are able to be on campus full time, Welcome Week activities in the atrium are so cool to check out. Those were always my favorite moments when the term started. And lastly, I was a student worker throughout my 4 years at NLU, and this caused me to really gain career readiness, build new relationships, and experience so much in the office. If you would like to, be involved with federal work study, make sure to mark it in your FAFSA.
So for me, aside from being a student ambassador, I'm also involved in different clubs. So right now, I am the treasury for a club I helped start called Built by Women. And here we wanted to create a safe environment for all identified women and be able to create a space where you can make new friends. Recently, with like the current pandemic that's going on, we did have a social distancing picnic where the club met at a park, stayed 6 feet away, and we all had lunch. We are planning more activities like this one. We've also had like Zoom workouts and stuff, so we're trying to stay together through all of this. I am also involved in the First Generation for College. This is a club where we go help high school students and help them with FAFSA, or just help them if they need someone to talk to help facilitate their road to college. With all the opportunities NLU has given me as a student, I was also able to join the Student Advisory Council, which is where students are able to voice their opinions about NLU and make positive changes among the school. This is something that I'm very excited and very grateful for, because I know that my voice is being heard at NLU.
Great. Thank you for sharing. I'm really happy to hear that there are still job opportunities and opportunities to get involved in clubs and organizations while socially distant. So that's great. I appreciate you both sharing that. My next question goes to Eric and Jocelyn. Can you guys talk to us about, your professional career, right? So a big part of going to college is preparing yourselves professionally for a job, right? So what are your career goals, and how has NLU helped to support you in reaching that dream job that you really want?
Well, I know two positions I for sure want to be in. It'll be either me as a high school counselor or working on building computers and possibly other electronics. So if you need someone, I might be your guy. Once you commit to attending college, it is one of the first steps towards achieving your dream job. Doing it on your own is possible, but at some point you'll need a helping hand, which is when NLU comes into play. I think the best thing about NLU really are their success coaches. So basically, we're assigned a success coach for the first 2 years. But once we start our third year, we're assigned to a success coach that synergizes with our major. At the time, I was focusing on psychology as my major and human services as my minor. But in a way, I felt kind of lost. Like I had no idea what I wanted to be. I had all these ideas of what I wanted to do, but wasn't sure, what to pick. And I thought maybe I should just take a gap year off and, figure it out on my own. So I went to my success coach for help and answers. And luckily she always knows what to do, and she helped me figure out what I can envision myself doing for the next 10 years. So I made a choice to pursue psychology as my major, but I changed my minor to computer science. But that's not the only support system I had. I also had to prepare professionally. So instead of taking the career classes from NLU, I took Braven as a challenge. And essentially Braven is a second year class course you can take during your second year to prepare you for the real world. You learn tactics such as mock interviews, elevator pitch, public speaking skills, and what made Braven more unique was the final project that was given to us. Quick little fun fact, LinkedIn was one of the companies we had to work with, and they're basically the professional version of Facebook. You can find internships and possibly even your future job on that website. So LinkedIn gave us a project where we had to help them find a way to engage young students and professionals to use LinkedIn more frequently. And my team had to present to more than 100 or more young professionals, LinkedIn staff members, and even business professionals. That was a very fun and great experience, and I wish I can relive it again. And again, I cannot thank my current success coach for helping me figure out my path to success and being there when I need to help the most. But with that being said, I will hand it over to Jocelyn.
Thank you, Eric. So as I mentioned earlier, my major is elementary education. And when I was looking for colleges, I would always look for colleges that fit my needs to be an educator. And when I looked at NLU, I knew it was the perfect fit for me. I knew I wanted to be a teacher since I was in high school. So when I was looking, I was talking to some of my teachers, and two of my favorite teachers, they actually went to NLU. And to follow along in their footsteps, they were the teachers who inspired me to be a teacher. So I was like, of course I want to go to NLU. And being here, finishing my freshman year, I have realized that as a person, I'm growing more social. I'm developing these soft skills I know I'm going to need in the future. And I feel that I'm being prepared not only for my future career and my future classes, but just as a person overall.
I love it. Thank you so much. And Eric, I think you mentioned this, but just another add is that all students that are part of the undergraduate college will have to complete an internship requirement. And so that's really going to help our students get hands-on experience out in the workplace, and learn how to work within your major that you've selected. So thank you both for sharing. I really appreciate it. My next question actually goes to our two graduates that are on the call today, so Miana and Priscilla. So as we mentioned, Miana and Priscilla actually both recently graduated from NLU, so congratulations again to our alumni of the university. Can you ladies talk to us about your final year at National Louis and how the university might have supported you to transition from college to career?
Yeah, so during my final year at NLU, Career Bridge was always emailing me or stopping me in the hallway to make sure I was doing okay. And a little side note, Career Bridge is a department at NLU that assists with finding a job, an internship, or can even prepare you for an interview. So it felt so good to have people constantly wondering about your next steps just as much as you are stressing about it. So Dee, my Career Bridge specialist, was always like a mentor to me. Still to this day, I know I can email him regarding really a job opportunity or anything. I have a lifelong professional friend, so that feels really nice. My final term, due to COVID, was not how I pictured, but with my professors and my coach, they made me feel so content with how it ended. And during my last term, I had two of my favorite professors, so that was really helpful with being remote. They knew our work ethic and really how to keep us engaged in the class. So my last class was super emotional because of the friendships we all made. So make sure to build those relationships with your peers and your professors and the other specialists, because there's so much genuine love at NLU. So you're bound to be successful.
That was beautifully said, and I completely agree with the ending of it. The relationships you build are amazing, but my senior year was definitely one to remember, not just because of how it ended due to COVID, but also because of all the positive things that actually came out of it. As Vienna explained, Career Bridge was always there to make sure that us as students were aware of the next steps after college. They were there to make sure we had our resume ready, our cover letter, we knew how to answer interview questions or how to act in an interview. So that's something that I personally, and I know my friends highly loved, and genuinely we're happy that we had that connection there. And not just our career advisors would go out of our ways, but so would our own success coaches. I know what my success coach, if he would find a job and be like, hey, this best suits you, he would send it over in an email and be like, Priscilla, apply to it. You never know what can happen. And that's something that I genuinely love about National is that they actually do that. And National genuinely did, prepare us for our futures and to go from transitioning from college into our careers. And we are here to succeed, and I couldn't be any more grateful to have graduated from a school like National Louis. So yes.
Amazing. Thank you, ladies, for sharing your experiences. I appreciate that. Ruth, I'd love to hear from you next. So Ruth, as you're entering your next academic year, pretty soon you'll be entering your second year. What kind of plans do you have for yourself?
For me, grades is the top priority for me. I try to do my best to keep up with my grades as much as possible. I really, really, really want to get in touch with Career Bridge because I work with them too. And they were just really amazing with the way they helped me to fix my resume. And they were just awesome at keeping in touch, like Priscilla and Liana were talking about. They just do an amazing job to make you feel like you're really supported. And so I'm really excited to see what options and opportunities that they have for something within psychology. Aside from that, hopefully just helping friends out, keeping each other up to par with what we need to do. So I'm really excited for this upcoming.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad to hear you've got some plans set for yourself for the upcoming year. So that's great. Eric, can you talk to us about when you are downtown and you are at campus, where's your favorite place to grab coffee or food? And do you have a favorite spot you like to go to between classes?
Really good question. I can say everyone can vouch for me and say my go-to place is Panda Express. It's right across NLU. I don't remember the exact street off the top of my head, but it's like right across the street. But ever since my freshman year, I've always gone to Panda Express for lunch, and I do not regret it. My friends will always see me walk in class with the Panda Express bag and automatically know what I get. It's either a bowl with chow mein and orange chicken, or a plate with white rice and double orange chicken. I love it. I went there so many times, like the last 3 years, that even the staff knows me, and I even got a discount one time because I was such a loyal customer, and there was like not that many people there. But however, I realized I am in downtown, so I need to explore my taste buds. Of course, we have McDonald's and Burger King, but I wanted to try something with a little bit more flair. So down a couple blocks, there was a Shake Shack, and if I could have another one of their burgers and fries, I would pay top dollar for it. Trust me, it's very, very delicious. I recommend it. And then there are other places like Chick-fil-A, very good. Jimmy John's, very good. And other really good local restaurants near the school. I do recommend you try it out when you get the chance one day. Just make sure to come to class in time if you do venture out further.
Awesome, Eric. Thank you. I'm going to call you our Panda Express guy from now on. Another cool perk, just talking about restaurants around campus, is there is a lot of restaurants, like Eric mentioned, around our campuses. And a lot of those places do offer an NLU student discount. So when you show your NLU student ID, sometimes you'll get a 10% off or whatever the promotion is that's going on at that time. So Eric, thank you for sharing. My next question here is for Jocelyn and Ruth. Can you ladies talk to us about what you're looking forward to for your next academic year?
Yeah, so for the school year, I'm very excited because I know that I start my education classes this term, and I'm excited just to be able to see what they entail and like everything in it. I'm just excited to start, it's more going into detail for my future career. I'm also excited to continue growing our club built by women. I know that although we are remote, I'm ready to continue learning, and I'm ready to like make new friends, and I'm going to try my best as possible even through these times. And I know this year is going to be a little bit more difficult than the last, but I know that with the support that NLU gives me as a student, I'm going to be ready.
That sounds awesome, Jocelyn, and I wish you the best. I hope that it goes amazingly well for you. Something for me, I think it's just classes. I'm really excited for classes. My first term, we had an introduction to psychology, and I was really enthralled with it. I really loved the teachers that we had. It was a really enjoyable class. I wish I would have gotten more into it. I wish there was more that we could have done with it. So I'm really excited to see where that takes us. I think this year we have a class called Lifespan Development, and so I'm really interested in that. I'm super enthralled in seeing where it can take me with my communication skills. I'm not somebody who talks a lot, and so NLU has been a big impact towards me talking to people. They've made me way more comfortable in making friends and kind of communicating with others, whereas I usually don't.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. It sounds like you will be entering your academic years that are going to give you a little more exposure to your majors and what those are all about. So I'm excited for both of you to experience both that education major, Jocelyn, and Ruth, the psychology major. So I'm looking forward to hearing how that goes for you. Priscilla, my next question is for you. So can you talk to us about what are some helpful tips or tricks that you might have for students to make sure that they can be successful while they're learning remotely?
So this is actually a great question because I know when I was remote, at first I started noticing that I was becoming very lazy with it. So I would wake up, sometimes I wouldn't even turn on my screen, or I wasn't just not as active in the classes as I usually was. So I definitely recommend to just wake up like an hour and a half. Just pretend like you're gonna go to class, wake up, get ready, eat breakfast, and just pretend you're gonna go to actual campus, even though obviously that's not gonna happen for now, we hope. And just make it seem like you are getting ready for your day. I also would recommend having a notebook next to you because I know that I would be listening even though I'm not physically, like my eyes aren't in the screen. I'd be listening and I would be writing things down, and I would still remember everything because I was still writing it down. So mentally I was there, I just physically didn't look like I was there. So I do recommend just having a notebook next to you, pretending like you're gonna go to campus. And that's something that towards the end of the term, it made me feel like it led me to having a great end of the term because of those new things that I applied to myself and whatnot. So that's something I do recommend for everyone else that's starting this remote learning.
Great suggestions, Priscilla. I love that. Yes, making sure that you have some kind of routine while you're still at home is super important. So really great tips. Thank you. And I have one more question for the group. Actually, this is going to go to Priscilla and Miana. So Priscilla and Miana, do you guys have any words of wisdom or encouragement that you can share for our students who are just starting college for the very first time?
So yes, this is actually one of my favorite questions ever. Like it genuinely is. I would encourage each and every one of you that is starting college to come in with an open mind. You know, having no one knows what's going to happen, and when you start something new, like going to college, going to school, leaving home, you know, leaving your comfort zone. So I know for me, coming in with an open mind would lead you to having just a better and a great experience at the end of the day.
Awesome. So that's such a good question, Michelle. I would say to always ask for help. Never be afraid to ask a question at NLU because the people love being there for you. If you can't log into your portal, you can call the help desk. You need math assistance, you can go to learning support for one-on-one tutoring. If you're struggling with the paper, you can ask a writing specialist to look over and give you some tips. And I actually utilized the writing specialist my sophomore year and won a scholarship. So make sure to utilize your resources. I know sometimes coming out of your shell can be super hard, but NLU really just makes it so easy. And use a planner.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. This has been so great. I've really enjoyed our session together, and I hope that our prospective students who are listening in have enjoyed as well. So I want to thank our wonderful student ambassadors for being available to chat about their experiences. And if anyone does have any questions about NLU or you want to speak one-on-one with one of us, we're always here to help. We're really excited to work with you. So please feel free to reach out. You can actually email us at pathways@nl.edu with any questions you might have, and we'll be able to follow up with you. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Stay safe and well, and we hope to speak with you soon.